Good morning, guys. Today we're going to work on the same thing we've been working on for 2 days. One question will have a little more difficulty than the other, but it's good practice. I am still on Unit 13. I am in page 4. If you could turn to number 13. We're going to do 2 rectangle problems today. So, the first thing we'll do is we're going to read the problem and we'll highlight. So I'm going to highlight my important information. Sam's homework is to determine the dimensions of a rectangular backyard. So I drew a rectangle. He knows that the length is 10 feet more than the width. So that's important. I'll highlight it. And the total area is 144 feet. They want you to write an equation that Sam could use to solve this problem. Then we're going to find the dimensions in feet of his yard. So I know the first thing I do, one side has to be x. Always make it x. And after my highlighting, I know my width is 10 feet more than. So I have x plus 10. Now, I'm going to come over here and I know area is length times width. So we did this yesterday. X times x plus 10 is going to equal 144. They gave it to me. We see parentheses. The first thing you must remember to do, distribute. X squared. X times 10. 10x equals 144. I know my next step, whenever I have a quadratic, everything must move to the x squared side. So I'm going to subtract 144 from both sides. And I'm left with x squared plus 10x minus 144. That's going to equal 0. You do not combine 144 with anything because it does not have an x. So here's the tricky part. I know, let me write this here. When I go into y equals, I put that into y equals, correct? When I go to y equals, I can't see the picture. It's too big. So when I put it in and I graph it, I believe you're going to see something like this. It's only going to pass in one spot. So what you have to do is look at the table. If you look at the table, I always know that the roots are when y is 0. So if I go to my table, you have to scroll. It's a lot. But I know that at negative 18, my y is 0, and at 8, my y is 0. So those would be my answers. It's unfortunate you can't see it on the graph, but you guys really know how to use the table, and some of you use the table anyway. So here I'm going to get x equals negative 18, and here I'm going to get x is 8. If I were to factor this, of course, my signs are opposite. Now, those of you who are good at factoring, this is 18. Those of you who are good at factoring will know 18 times 8 is 144. 18 minus 8 is 10. I know it's a rectangle, so I have to reject. And my answer is x equals 8. So I go back. X is 8. And what is 8 plus 10? 18. And 18 times 8 is 144. So that is a problem you totally already know how to do. A little tricky finding the roots. Use the table. Now let's move down. Let's go to number 14. Number 14, I promise, is way easier. And the 2 questions I'm going to give you today is way easier. But I wanted to show you that one. I think you guys have really got a grasp on this and are really smart and can use the table. So let's do 14. In a rectangle. So I straight away know, let me first draw my rectangle, okay? whose area is 10. The length is 3 more than the width. Write and solve an equation to find the dimensions. So the first thing we do is label. This is always x. Now, 3 more than is a plus, x plus 3. I know my area is length times width. X times x plus 3 is going to equal 10. It gives it to me. Now I know I must distribute. X times x, x squared. X times 3, 3x. That's going to equal 10. Move the 10 over. Everything has to go to the x squared side. It's like a magnet. It pulls everybody over. So when we move it over, we change the sign. X squared plus 3x minus 10 equals 0. Really good news. When you go into y equals and you put that in, everybody go do that now. You can see it on the picture. So go do that now and you can find out what your picture looks like. I know this root will be negative 5 and this root will be 2. Do not trust me. Go to y equals and do it yourself. You can even pause the video. I know then my answers, you can skip this step, you guys. I know my answers will be x equals negative 5 and x is 2. This is what you can skip. This is just factoring it and showing work. You don't need that step because you already used this to find the answers. Okay? So I know it's a rectangle. I cannot have a negative. So I'm going to go back and plug in. One side is 2. And what's 2 plus 3? 5. If I wanted to check it, I can come right here. 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, there you go. That's my check. And it worked. You got it correctly. So, to complete today's assignment, you are going to do page 5, number 15, and page 6, number 24. It will be written in the assignments. I want you to show me the picture of your work when you're done so that you can get a 4 out of 4 for today. I will be creating a Zoom meeting for Friday.